Yeah, I mean, it always feels good to see a couple of threes going early. Got to, got to the line a couple times. It's always just kind of nice to see some easy buckets going before you start shooting some deep threes and letting the long ball fly. But I mean, you kind of just go down the stat sheet. You see Steve with 4 assists, these two with 3 assists. I can remember a couple plays off the top of my head where I was just the recipient of a one more pass after penetration into the paint. So I think it's just culmination of good team basketball, really. Sharing the ball at a high level, getting paint touches when we can, and yeah, like I said, just sharing it at a high level.
Michael, right here, please. Oh, I'm sorry, Nick. You're next. Go ahead, Michael, and then we'll get Nick. He's got a real good question.
Max, how frustrating have the last couple of games been where you were getting some good looks, but the shot just hasn't quite been falling?
I mean, yeah, we played one real game, so this was the second game of the year. I don't really get too bogged down in like how shooting performance go earlier, whether it's exhibition, scrimmage. Basketball is like golf. I'm a really big golfer too, and you're not gonna hit 320-yard drives down the fairway every single time. Like, it might be in the rough, you might miss one long, but you get to play hole two, and like you get to shoot the next shot. So stuff like that, always moving forward, like looking at the next biggest opportunity. I feel like everywhere where I got on the floor, I'm comfortable at. There's no bad shot that I'm kind of scared to take, but it's also like these guys, the team pumping confidence into you, pouring that all into you, which makes it just easier to kind of let them fly at a higher level. So it's a credit to like these guys. Like I said, finding me, getting open, things like that, but you can't worry about, past games, past shots.
Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, for Max or John, at Big Ten Media Days, you guys both mentioned Kamari as somebody that really had a strong offseason. How has that translated, to the offense early, and just how has that been so beneficial, especially in the half court?
Yeah, I would say he just, like I said before, he's a spark plug off the bench. And he makes us great whenever he's on the court. And he's always talking, always leading. Whether he's scoring or he's not, he still has high energy. It's never down. Even off the court, he always has high energy. Even when he was hurt during the offseason, he was always had high spirits. So that's a great point guard to have on the floor and just a great guy overall.
Yeah, like echo that. Yeah, just building off what John said about the spark plug, part of it, just pouring. I mean, last game you looked at his plus minus, it was like, 35 or something like that. Coach says you look at it again tonight. Well, it's 3, but I mean that's that's also a very like take what you want with that stat. You could feel it though, like it's something you can feel as a player in the game when 4 checks in, brings a new tempo, brings a voice. That carries throughout the team. So even in the huddles too, not just on the floor, but media timeouts, halftime, talking stuff through. It's a blessing that we got him here. Back to you were in Wisconsin, but to Wisconsin.
Yes, sir.
Got a question right up front here. Go ahead, please.
JB, you had a real up-front, close and personal look at Carter Gilmore's block. What did you make of that play? What did you see on that development?
Well, you're always going to get one of those or a highlight play from Carter Gilmore. So I knew he was going to block that. I saw him coming in transition, and I saw him time it up. He blocked my shots a few times like that. I think he cussed after, but I ain't talking about that. But, yeah, like Carter Gilmore, he's like I said, he's similar to Kamari, but in a different role. He just comes off the bench, gives good energy, knows the game, plays the game the right way, and just plays his role. I mean, he doesn't complain. Comes in with a high spirit every single day, and just does his job. And then he's a leader off the court too.
Question right over here in the back.
Mark, would you speak about the defense, your mindset? It seemed like you took Jay out the game in the second half.
I know that defense is going to win us a lot of games. I've always had the defensive mindset ever since I started playing basketball. That's really that's winning basketball is getting defensive stops. Like we have enough scorers, we have enough guys doing great things at the other end. So when it's come time to lock in, I make sure I try to take the lead by example and get my guys engaged as well. Just because I know that at the end of the game, when it's crunch time like that and it's time to close the game out, we're gonna need stops more than scores.
Okay, we got Coach in the wings. Do we have any other questions? One more question.
John, when you see 21 free throw attempts tonight, you had the team had 21, team had 16 the other night. What does that tell you about how this group is playing?
As we get up a lot of threes, but I mean we have a good mixture of both. I mean, like Tanji, I think he leads us with that. Me as well. I know I only had 2 tonight, but we try to get to the free throw line as much as possible. Like last game, I think we were in double bonus early, and this game we were in double bonus. So whatever we can do to get free points from the line, I mean, we're trying to do that. So yeah.
It's a good win against a good team that's experienced. You could really tell the maturity of the older guys for them on the floor. Anytime we made a mistake on a screen, it was a 3 in the first half. I thought that those things will help us. But I like the maturity of our guys down the stretch as we came, opened up a lead in the second half. Did good things on both ends of the floor. Obviously, got high percentage shots, got to the line, figured out a better way to guard, forced them into some tougher shots. They had some threes there late where they caught us once in transition and over helping on a ball screen. But all in all, I think we've taken a step in the right direction. Again, against a team that will likely have a really good year in that league. So it's another step for us. Quick turnaround here for App State coming in on Sunday. Another good team, different than what we've seen maybe for the last couple games, but a little bigger. But there's a lot of good things tonight, and we'll build off of that and continue to try to get better. Questions? Mark, go ahead.
Just want to get your thoughts on Max's night and obviously 26 points and what you thought in terms of how he got to that total.
Yeah, I mean he's been putting. He's not going to go 1 for 7 very much or for very long, but he's been putting a lot of time in, working with our coaching staff, cleaning up some things with his shot and just getting more reps. Just shooters shoot, and obviously he was feeling it tonight. Couldn't get him out before he checked the one from 35 feet at the shot clock. He says he's tired, so that's not the time to jack it from 35 feet. But obviously he gets into that rhythm, and he's such a competitor. And it was good to see him make some shots. He's put time in with it, and that's how good a shooter he is. So,
Michael.
John Tonje got to the line a lot. I mean, he's obviously aggressive going to the rim, but it's the difference between a guy who's out of control and in control, just the amount of free throw shooting that he's able to do, the amount of times he's able to get to the line.
he should get there more. If he play off 2 feet more like he did, the first couple times he went in there and kind of stumbling around off 1 foot, and we're trying to continue to add the 2 foot plays to his game. And then when he did it, he got fouled right away, and that's part of the game that he needs to improve upon is playing off 2 feet. There's a time when you go off 1 and you get a clear runway to the rim, but there's going to be traffic and bodies there, so his ability to play off 2 and get fouled and draw that contact is a weapon for him, and he's got to continue to get better at it because that's a really, he shoots the line well, he shoots the 3 well, so he's going to have opportunities to attack with how, we were able to space the floor with people around him. He just got to continue to get better at finishing like he did after it was the back part of the first half. I thought he got better at playing off 2 feet and got to the line more.
Right in front of your coach.
Did you make your team's ability to frustrate a player like Brandon Walker at times tonight, especially those 3 first half turnovers?
Yeah, I mean, our size, I think the 2 7-footers to a degree, we were rotating on him. I thought bothered him to some degree. We were able to knock a couple balls loose. We fouled a couple times on post digs by not doing it properly. But, we were able to send traffic to him or keep him, have traffic around him when he did start to put the ball on the floor. And I know he's a really good passer. So we wanted to make sure once he started to bounce it, then we'll squeeze a little bit. Not off of 21 or off of 11 very much. We came off of him once right in front of our bench and came off, kind of got caught in no man's land and gave up a three. But by and large, I think it was a combination of size and then be able to, have traffic around him when he did try to attack.
Hey, Coach. Kamari's been here. This is his third year. How have you seen him grow as a player?
Just the poise and the maturity. I think he's operating on at a very functional speed right now. 2 years ago, I think he tried to play everything at 1,000 miles an hour. Now he understands the importance of pace and patience, when to pick your spots, when to step on the gas, when not to. So I just think you're seeing the evolution and the maturity of a player that's really done a really good job for us. I mean, he's been a steadying influence. He changes the game with his defense. He changes his game with the pace he comes with the ball. But I just think the decisions and the conscious effort to read and feel the flow of the game, when you can go fast and when you can't. He didn't understand that 2 years ago, and it's taken time for him to learn that and get a good feel. And he's obviously figured out a lot of good things.
Nick?
Yeah, Greg, 6 players with at least 6 tonight, 4 in double figures, scoring wise. Just how beneficial can it be not only to have obviously that many options scoring, but even studying the offense a little bit? I felt like different guys did that too.
Yeah, I think we got a lot of guys that can do different things, and there's even some guys I'd like to get more run with Amos and Ilver, Janicki. I just went with experience, just with having a guard what they were running. You could tell anytime there was a mistake, and usually younger, inexperienced players, have a tendency to get caught on some of those things. I think any three threes in the first half, whenever we made a mistake, they banged it home. So, but the offensive standpoint, I mean, we were really, for the most part, really efficient. I think I was told on the way up here, 75 of our 79 points were either at the rim twos, free throws, or threes. So we're still trying to figure out the 4 other points. We think Tanjay took one from the baseline. Did we come up with the other one? So that's what we want from an analytical standpoint. You want things at the rim, dunks, layups, post moves, those things, free throws, and then good threes. And I wouldn't say all of them are. Klesmet heat checked a couple. Tanjay, some of those guys that shoot it pretty well, I give them a little bit of a green light. But that's analytically. I mean, if you're gonna, that's what you want. He's trying to minimize longer twos, tougher jump shots.
Michael?
You mentioned this with Kamari, but how much more sure of himself, and how better are the decisions with Carter, especially on the offensive side of the ball?
Gilmore? Yeah, I mean, Gilly just gives us such a steadying, and I know he's taken a lot of shit over his career here, but it's quite frankly unwarranted, because if you have any idea what you're looking at, you can see that he really anchors us defensively. He covers up a lot of stuff. He was really good in the ball screens when we played him at the 5 tonight. And he's driving it, hitting. I think he hit Blackwell in the corner for a 3 late in the clock. So he's just, he's just a ball player. And I can play him at various positions. Played him at the 3 a lot during the preseason in practice. I don't think that's natural for him, but he covers up mistakes defensively of other guys. Tyler Wall did that. They're different, but he has such a good feel for the game and talks the game the right way, and the things he's talking about and asking about are, he's seeing it and talking like a coach in terms of, he sees things a little further ahead than maybe what most players do in college. And he's been able to, play within his strengths and not get outside of his strengths. Like I said, he's very valuable because he's smart, he's tough, and we can exchange things with him. He covers up mistakes. He knows what we're doing. He really is a good leader from a voice standpoint because he knows what he's doing, so he can tell other people what to do. So yeah, he's kind of an unsung important piece to this group.
Mark, you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay. And then,
Just to kind of, you kind of spoke about free throws before as far with Tajay, but in the first two games, I think it's 36. You've been to the line a lot in the first couple games, and I guess I'm just wondering in terms, obviously there's a value to that, but what's kind of, besides being aggressive, is there a common thread to what you're seeing in terms of why guys have been able to draw fouls and things of that sort?
Well, I think part of it, Mark, is just offense. If we can spread people out, they have to guard us at the 3-point line because we have a lot of shooters on the floor. And then we're putting pressure on the rim with either some of the cutting we do, the ball screen, the bigs are on the rim, coming at you from different angles, wings, top. We're slide screening some things with different guys. And then so our ability to get downhill, Tanjay, Blackwell, Klesma can do that. Obviously McGee gets there too. And then you're good old fashioned just roll it into the post, right? You throw it into Steve or throw it into Nolan. We didn't do as much tonight because they were switching so much stuff and gumming things up, so we had to really move them and then make a play, but and get them more in transition before they could set and switch everything. So it's a combination. I think when we were able to shoot threes and knock those down, it forces people to come out. And the spacing has been good. It's something we've been conscious of really making sure our spacing is appropriate and we're wide and you got to share the ball. You got to move it and attack it and get them in closeouts and attack when they are in a closeout and then be unselfish. And this group is doing a good job of picking that stuff up.
right in the corner,
Coach,
Coach.
you just speak about the impact of the Twin Towers of Stephen Crowell and Nolan Winter. Nolan led the team in rebounds today.
Yeah.
And Steve was impactful with this assist with 4.
Yeah, I mean it's a hard game for them to play in this one because of all the moving parts, and at times if 7 wasn't in the game, it became 4 guards at times, so it's a little harder matchup for Nolan. But I think they did a good job on Walker. I believe that's his name, right? The big guy, yeah, Walker. I mean, hold him 3 for 8. I think the size was important on him. But those two guys, Nolan's confidence just keeps growing day by day. I mean, he's getting better, and coaches are doing a good job with him, and he's receptive and he's competitive. That's the thing I've noticed about him way back when we started recruiting him. He's got an edge to him. He's got a little nasty to him, which is good. Because Steve needs to have more of it. Steve's gotten some of it. Steve needs to get more of it, but it's a good combination. And then obviously I can mix and match them around, put Nolan at the 5 with those other guys. So I think Steve and Nolan like being on the floor together. I think they both pass it really well and look for each other. Probably get even more high-low stuff and big-to-big stuff. But they're 2 guys. It's been fun to watch their evolution and how them together on the floor has evolved this through the summer and into the fall.
Right up front here, Coach.
Yeah.
Sticking with Steve, he hasn't had the best offensive stats to start the year. Do you think that there are ways that he could get more into an offensive rhythm, and if so, what are the ways?
Well, he's getting a lot of attention. We got him early on a high-low first play of the game. With them sending so much traffic at him, doubling him from the backside. 4 assists. To see what his turnovers were. Some of them maybe weren't his fault on the passes that were thrown to him, but I want him to be more aggressive, but he is such a willing passer, sometimes too willing, and I want him. I like the unselfishness, but I've said for a year, so I'd like to have him be more selfish. But he takes what the defense gives, and he draws a lot of attention in there. Every team we've played so far has sent some type of help or double team at him, and then you have to have other guys step up and make plays, and he does a good job of finding people around that and continue to help him get him the ball from different ways, so we can pick on the double team a little bit more and even before it gets there. So, like I said, the unselfishness of him is obviously, I think his calling card and his willingness and ability to pass it is really good.